Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever your time zone suits. My name is Santosh Singh. I've been in the IT industry for the last 23 years, and as of now, I am working as a enterprise architect and majorly working on solutioning on data center as well as cloud solutioning aspects for my current organizations and its different customers. So today I'm going to discuss more from the cloud adoption framework perspective, like what it is, what are the conceptual offering it gives us. It enables us to design in a certain way. Can we do implement everything that it offers, or we can uh, make a custom approach and utilize or configure only selected based on certain parameters. Along with this, we will also try to cover what and how cloud is impacting on the major IT industry software language, software programming language as well. Uh, if we see from the past till date, right? Okay, so what is the objective? What are the target audiences? What are prerequisites to understand this discussion? Or it's a kind of more of a technical workshop kind of thing, which gives a platform for you to start and further customize use it as per the different customer that you will be working for. So this discussion today we have structured it like this is the title that we have discussed: cloud adoption framework and cloud impact on programming languages or model types. There are objectives of it. The objective of this discussion today is to detail about conceptual view on cloud adoption framework, uh, which are being offered by so many various major cloud services provider like Azure, AWS, GCP, and other open source cloud service provider. And also we will discuss on the cloud impact on software development programming language following scope of AI and ChatGPT. So that is the objective, and then target audience. Yes, I should see the target audience might be enterprise, solution technical, business architect, and software developers team as well. As a prerequisite, assume that you are already uh, gone through the CAF Cloud Adoption Framework documents offered or available on the major cloud service provider portals. I have also given a link on this. You can find the link as a reference on those sites that you can go and check what they offer. This discussion that we are doing right now, it's a more, not to cover everything end to end, but highlight the major basic conceptual view so that you can decide from CAF and also see light uh, technical view on how the impact of cloud is happening to the uh, programming languages. And then we will also see that what are the conceptual view on cloud adoption framework. In that certain way we will follow to discuss about or to uh, go about those topics like in inside cloud conceptual view of cloud adoption framework. We will talk about what it is that cloud adoption framework we say. Then we will say what are the core components it has, right? And then we will discuss about what are the drivers for different scenarios in which we can utilize this. What and how and what are the different uh, items we can tweak to use it. And then there will be cloud. The next topic that we have is cloud impact on programming languages or models types. We'll see, like inside that, the structure is about what we are going to talk about this topic. And then there are factors and backgrounds on software language progress. Finally, there will be a conclusion of each of this topic, and then reference I've already discussed. So let's start and go about this topic now, which is more of a cloud adoption framework, right? What it is, how we can utilize. So if we see that what is cloud adoption framework, right? This cloud adoption framework is what? If you see there are multiple cloud services provider like Azure, AWS, GCP, and other. They provide this cloud adoption framework. Why? Because this is a guiding set of principles. If it principles in terms of business as well as technical aspects, and it has a central part of cloud implementation from the inception of idea of IT industry journey from data center towards cloud, right? Why this framework is required? Because this framework, there are the this framework helps us in structurizing, in organizing, hosting platform for infrastructure as well as platform services, as well as business application. Why? To secure, to assuring that the cloud design that we are doing, that cloud services that we are utilizing are having security assurance in terms of zero trust tolerance, robust identity services management, and cloud management cum integration services. Such framework is provided by almost all major as well as open source cloud service provider. This needs a structure, this needs an organization. For that reason, we are talking about this topic today and how this can be structured in a well mannered structure. Why this is required? This is required as almost all services offering and management from virtual services and heterogeneous infrastructure services require availability of services in a structured and organized manner, which could be managed by a programming language which handles environment variable in a better way. For that reason, we need to understand this CAF to utilize the services offering from various CSPs in a better way and effective way so that our business uh, can flourish in a certain way, positive way. So if you see on the screen that I have a cloud adoption framework where how the different sections are there uh, and how their network based connectivity are enabled, that you can see in the diagram. Like it has a model like it has on left side of my screen. If you see on the diagram, there are platform services which comprises identity, connectivity, platform services or management services, which have more of a group of services, which we say platform services, or you can say even foundation services, part of foundation services, which these services are being offered, especially enabling identity and connectivity services and platform services from one specific location. On the right side of the screen, you see there are landing zone. Landing zone are those sections of the service hosting place where all the actual application services, business application services are configured so that those applications can only focus on application functionality. Application wherever they require connectivity, they have to go and utilize connectivity services. And connectivity services will ensure that all connectivity requirement uh, from one place needs to be offered. Similarly, if you see on the identity services, this section offers all the identity services which ensures authenticity, authorization services are offered to the application as well as business as well as the IT applications as well. And finally, all these applications will be requiring monitoring, capacity planning, uh, then securing agent installations. Normal BAU support, day-to-day activity supports services. Those all BAU support services are normally launched or hosted from one common location that we say management service or platform services. Now, this site normally the site that we configured on any one of the CSP. Normally, we go for a paired region. Paired region are those regions where primary site is there, where all your production services are hosted, where there will be local HA, and then one will be always up, and there'll be standby, which can take over control or so that they can give non-interrupted services to your app business users. Uh, when once their local one of the local component fails. Um, yes, if the entire site goes down, then you will have a paired secondary region, or DR site will take over the role of that. And again, the DR site will have a similar kind of setup where platform services as well as landing zones are enabled. Each of these applications, it totally depends on how your application design are agreed with your enterprise architecture board. They will be mapped and connectivity between application to application. For example, the database require native connectivity, right, to function and to give non-interrupted database connectivity service. That you can see from the primary side to secondary side connectivity is ensured. And on the left, other areas like application web data might not be required ASAP, or it might be based on totally application related SLA and SLA agreement on on the business, along with the business teams are done, right. They have to follow and they have to design that way. But if you see on the bottom side, it's a primary site and the secondary side almost replica are there, right. And before we go and set up this uh, network topology for a specific customer requirement, it is always advisable to identify the security zones that you can see on the screen, where it shows semi-internal, internal zone. Internal zones are those where actually only internal communications are allowed. Semi-internal means there will be a mix of internal as well as external services are hosted, but those are properly whitelisted on the firewall or their services. And there will be some external zones. There will be some trusted, non-trusted zones. All these words are very specific to the organization where terms are utilized, but these are standard terms that we normally use to uh, identify the zones, security zones, and then based on that, the network topology environment is set, and foundation services are set, and those are offered to application or to landing zone. So these are high level of the application network topology as well as network security zones should be must be defined before application services are configured. This grouping that you see on an identity, connectivity, platform, or landing zone, primary, secondary site, and connectivity, all these are kind of template. Basis which we can customize each of these. We can, if the industry type is something more big or less, then this can be merged in one subscription or more in one account. If we go by Azure or AWS terminology, right, we will discuss about these topics just now after this one. So we see that these are the templates and from offering from the CAP, from the cloud adoption framework terminology. These are basic, very much basic concepts. Now there are certain drivers like where drivers which drive the connectivity. I mean, which drives the different scenarios where we will go on a major drivers to discuss here in this discussion, like industry type and size, right? So implementation of CAF with all recommendation might not suit to all the industry type and industry size, right? Because if we do, for example, if we do a small if we do set up this CAF for a very small industry, a very small organization or company where the users are not that much compared to enterprise size organization, then it will be totally uh, loss of costing areas, right. A bill will come very huge and it will look very very uneven. Why I have set up so many resources when those are not utilized, because each of these services having certain limitations in be it subscription or be it account, and whether you want to enable, add more, or reduce resources. that needs to be done as per the requirement you have. So it is very much recommended that implementation of CAP with all recommendation number of subscriptions or accounts requires a suitability assessment, as it matters a lot when cloud services consumption bill touches very high, as cloud is driven by service size or length along with its limitations, club with costing. The second thing is about security zone setup. As I discussed in the beginning, the security zones are very much required to be done because industry, when you go for public cloud, then securing cloud services is very much required. And today, nowadays, like most of the CSPs are security certified, like especially SOC, SO, HIPAA, PCI, DSS, or FedRAM, to name a few. So most of the services are kind of secure, but still, if you are from banking domain, then you might want to ensure that security is more required, and you need to ensure that all the security configurations are as per your organization's security zone policy or security policies, right? Similarly, if we compare with retail or small size or manufacturing, which might not require a banking industry type like security zones to be done, right? So all the security configurations or hardening are differing, and so the design will vary. So we have to utilize the cloud adoption framework as per the requirement. Next, about cloud native services setup. Nowadays, industries are looking for setting up going into hybrid mode because of the security reasons, and each country has their own climate on their has their own security policies, right? So depending on cloud. Might not be a good one if we when I say depending on cloud, that means utilizing the native services of that cloud, and your application might be configured with one specific cloud services, then it will be tough to migrate again from one cloud to another cloud. So we should try to pick that kind of service or tools which are very much application oriented rather than on cloud native services. That is something I have tried to explain in the document as well. This document I have already put on LinkedIn and as well on my profile, which can be noted there. Next is about application requirement. Like application of requirement must be met by cloud adoption framework based availability of infrastructure as well as platform services, whilst alignment with application tech stack requirement along with application authentication and authorization compatible solution, right? So this needs to be done as well as securing data on data on at rest or data in transit. That is something some application requires, and we have to set up the platform as well as landing zone services in that way. Hosting services location, each and every CSPs do differ to offer similar set of services in paired region, sometime in different region. So we must ensure that hosting services that we are going for a specific geo or region should be having those similar set which we are trying to put in the primary site. If those are not, that we must ensure with coordination with the CSP that those services are there, or we should choose different region for setting up primary and secondary region. Capacity tracking is very much required because sometimes it happens that certain cloud services are uh, are growing fast or not utilized at all. So we need to enable our IT department so that they have capacity tracking monitoring and day-to-day monitoring as well, because capacity tracking monitoring might be required for 6 months or 1 year, but for daily monitoring might be required for 1 month or 3 months, and these two data needs to be analyzed in a manner that they are supporting each other, especially when RCA root cause analysis are required for certain services going down or being affected. In the cost management as well, this will support the OPEX or CAPEX insight when we have such management or tracking is enabled. Now let's talk about cloud impact on programming languages, right? Um, Cloud impact on programming languages or model types. With the ideation of cloud services availability in IT industry has already reached a high level phase of programming languages. Evolution of software programming languages up to generation fifth onwards speaks loud about driving factors in line with IT industry discovery of high-end processors, memory, and standard storage services. And emergence of cloud, along with its seriousness, with its evolution in terms of IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS, and many more cloud services, pushed limits of virtualizations. Along with its interfaces of easily management of all services tool products, this required serious seek of automation in cloud services offering. This further put a ripple out effect on looking for automation on all degree of services along with software programming languages and intent of instructions to machine to produce product finally. This pushed all software development community to find easiest way and means to develop a coding practice to get produce software services or product in easiest way. This is how AI and further product optimization came into being from ChatGPT or in form of ChatGPT by using and enhancing existing coding instructions in form of XML, Python, where extensions of not only static but dynamic elements come into being. So if you see the factors uh, and the factors that we will discuss now, which are driving these computer languages or software programming languages in the next topic. Like if I want to say factors and backgrounds on software language progress. If you see this diagram, then we see that how the programming languages got evolved. Like there are two low level and high level. Under low level, these are mostly on machine language or assembly language. If I have to name few, then machine language, binary code, assembly language. But if I go on a high level, then there are certain things we can definitely put category on, like procedural, object oriented, modern, right? So if in procedural there might be C, COBOL, Pascal. Why I'm saying procedural? Because these are more structured and getting line by line compilation executions. Um, but if I go for object oriented, then objects are created and they are called and then the resources or the members inside those classes are utilized, right? Um, Now we see that in the modern era, there are a lot of programming focus is going to human-oriented focus, not in machine-oriented. Right? We will talk about that in very soon. But in object-oriented, there might be example like C++, Java, C Sharp, and others. Yeah, the name I'm taking, these are not complete or exclusive, but these are few to name so that we can have this discussion and visibility illustrated for clarity. And the diagram that you see here that illustrates the same thing I'm trying to explain, right? And if we see that as automation has been ruling IT industry, automation's impact can be easily sensed on IT industry as all focus have been on discovering programming languages to move from machine controlled orientation to human controlled orientation. And AI and ChatGPT is seen driving this discovery journey. IT industry had utilized a lot of HTML tags in web or other custom app. However, driving factors gradually moved to bring dynamism along with a structure model with XML, which further leads to YML and finally Python technology based coding practice. So we observe there has been a serious movement from movement phase came to identify or converting coding practices from machine focused languages to a language which could train machine to develop code And not only code, but also many things for world which likes to make things easy and let machine develop those software services products in background after inferring those human understandable based code to machine instruction written in a writable code or languages. So if you see that how in the below diagram, right, which shows how the impact we have seen that up till modern, and now then robotics comes into picture, and then finally model training. What we does in model training that uh, a lot of raw data is being offered while having a certain set of codes which are put in logical manner, which being utilized uh, to train a model with so many versions of data model. What this model is done with all the discovery or going through this raw data model, it it comes to a execution state where it is learned, it is aware of those data, how to work or give output in a certain condition. That is how model training is coming. So we can expect that this evolution of models uh, can do a certain kind of task in a certain way and can be developed for addressing all the issues in a certain business type or industry type. And there is no such limitation, and this can go further to a state where machine reads instruction from human mind uh, by using some sensor, and that sends the instruction to machine, which actually go and design um, the CAF structure that we discussed above or other, then set up those resources, and then it can run BAU as well by machine itself. So human mind is only used to get the data from human mind is only used to get the data for ideas or the design elements it is thinking for a specific scenario. The same will be utilized by machine to design, and then the same will be utilized to set up. That means utilize some automation services, and then that same will be used to migrate those services from cloud or from data center to cloud, and finally that BAU support will be also enabled from machine, and which will be executed by machine. So I don't see that day is very far from happening, and that is how I explained this in the diagram that was there. So observing this pattern of software programming language evolution and emergence of strong data sensor along with native automation feature, there is no much time left when strategies and architects' ideas design will be read from their mind using new age data sensor directly. An entire virtual design will be implemented by machine model using automation services. And then future state can be visualized as next generation phase of migration of services as I discussed and followed by BAU support as well. So this is how it is being done. And finally, conclusion is cloud conceptual view of cloud adoption framework can be done only when it is matching as per the business requirement, as per the as per the industry type and size, as per the monitoring and security requirement, as per the application requirement, as per the authentication authorization requirement. That is how we learn today, and this can be customized. But yes, we will not miss out on at least on the basic conceptual views by by going through the topics that we discussed above. And on the cloud impact, yes, we have seen that there are phases where different programming languages was utilized in generation from one to many, and then finally we also discussed about how these actually impact is happening in terms of what are those different programming languages are utilized and other areas. But yes, the target is to utilize um, the more of human controlled programming practices rather than machine controlled programming practices. So I've put the references below. Happy to see you if you have any questions for me to clarify. Thank you so much and have a nice day ahead. Enjoy your day.